Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mom Cooks Fast and Slow. I'm Alex Sullivan, and I'm delighted to have you at my kitchen table. Today, I have Yaashi Jhangiani with me to talk about spreading joy through dance, her work in homeopathy, and how she incorporates Indian culture into her own life and throughout the Fairfield County area, and, of course, the importance of family. Yaashi teaches Dances of India for Star Inc., which is an organization that helps people with special needs. She teaches Zumba classes. She teaches about Indian culture through organizations such as Gopio and the Norwalk Nice organization, and she can also be found donating her time teaching first aid for Westport's EMS. Yaashi is the best example of someone who takes building and fostering communities seriously, and I am so honored to spend time with her today. I know you will enjoy this conversation as much as I did. Enjoy. Hi, Yaashi. Thank you so much for joining me on Mom Cooks Fast and Slow.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. We met through, I'm on the performance arts committee for West School PTC in New Canaan. And we met because I had worked with the Nice Norwalk Festival and organization to bring Bollywood dance to our schools, our elementary schools, and you were one of the star performers. And I feel like we hit it off immediately. I
Yes,
mean, we had
yes,
so much fun that day,
yes.
talking about Indian culture and dance and just all the things that we want to bring to our children and spread joy through. So we hit it off, and now here we are, and I'm so excited to have you on this podcast. So thank you for joining me. Um, so I thought to start it off, we could talk a little bit about yourself, how you wound up in Norwalk, and kind of how you got involved in your community. This podcast is about community and bringing people together. So I thought we could kick it off with that.
Sure. So, we grew up, my parents were very community oriented. Both my mom and dad were very involved in community in India. So when we moved here because of my husband's job 24 years back, it was only natural that, we would find our tribe here. And we were in Boston and in Pennsylvania for maybe like 3 or 4 months, but we've been in Norwalk for, so I would say half of my life I spent in Mumbai, and the other half has been in Norwalk. And this is such a vibrant community. So initially, because I didn't have a work permit, I was volunteering wherever I got an opportunity. So I volunteered with EMS, I volunteered with the Red Cross, I volunteered with the voluntary services for the blind. And then obviously I started connecting with the Indian community here as well. And that's how we got our start. And then we have not looked back. And now we are a big part of what we call the Global Organization of People of for Indian Origin, which is GOPIO. And through GOPIO, we've had an opportunity to bring a lot of the Indian programs to Fairfield County.
I love that. It's great. And I follow your Instagram account, and all your dance things are amazing. And just you seem to be a person that really loves to spread joy in your community, and I think
Yes.
that's so important. And so, I'm sure the community of Norwalk is very grateful to you. So how did you get involved with dance? Were you a dancer from a young child, or what was your path towards being a dancer now?
Right. So before I get into that, I want to thank you for saying that somebody's actually watching the dances,
Oh.
because my kids always joke, they're like, who is watching these videos? Mom, stop posting so much. So no, I'd like them to know that people are watching and enjoying them.
Yes.
So I was not a dancer at all. As a matter of fact, growing up when I was in elementary school, middle school, I was so bad that if everybody's hand was going left, my hand would be going right. I had no sense of rhythm at all, and I used to not dance because even they wouldn't take me because I was so bad. And then about 14, 15 years back, we started performing for community fundraisers for our temple and local community organizations. And I started getting a little bit confident that, okay, this is not so bad, I can do it. And then I discovered Zumba. That was like the turning point for me, because Zumba really simplifies dance. So everything you do on the left, you do on the right. It's in like multiples of 4 and 8. And 13 years of Zumba finally has given me some sense of rhythm. And then I'm like, if I can dance, anybody can dance. So,
Mhm.
me who had like literally no formal training, had two left feet or maybe like 10 left feet, I don't know, stomping over people. And that's why I was like, I have to like share this love with more people like me who want to dance but don't know how to do it. Just simplify it for them. And that's how my journey for dance started. And here I am.
That's great. That's so
Yeah.
funny. So Zumba was the turning point, but you also do, I mean, when you came to school, you did some Bollywood dancing for
Yes.
us.
Yes.
And then there were a couple of other dances that you incorporated to that as well. So I'm very familiar with Bollywood. When I was in college, I had friends that did Bollywood dancing at school, and the costumes and I mean, it was just, I loved that form of dance. But what were the other dances that you also incorporate, besides Bollywood and Zumba?
Right. So Zumba actually, as a fitness program, it incorporates rhythms from India. And there are four rhythms that it recognizes from India. So, Zumba is international rhythms, right? So 60 to 70% is Latin rhythms, and then the 30% is international. So in those international Indian rhythms from India, it recognizes Bollywood, which is like the fun part of it. And then it also recognizes some of the dances we shared with the school, uh, Garba. So Garba is from like the Western India, from the state of Gujarat. Then we have Lavani. Lavani is from Maharashtra, which is the state I am from. And then it also recognizes Bhangra, which is like the most popular, fun, energetic dance, which is from the north of India. And then we also have other dances that we couldn't like do, but there's all the classical dance forms like Kathak, Bharatnatyam, Kuchipudi. So I have been bringing these rhythms to my students in my classes, and they love it because they've been doing the Latin rhythms, and they've been doing some Bollywood and Bhangra, Lavani, Garba rhythms that Zumba recognizes. But now I've been bringing all of the other rhythms. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see all different dance forms, all different rhythms, and not just like from India. I've been doing this project, and I hope you join me. So I've been doing this project. It's called Exercise with Loved Ones. Anybody can dance. I did it to honor my parents, especially my mom. So my goal is to make 365 videos, and I'm at 221 right now. So I hope people who are listening, anybody can come and dance with me. So I have done dances from the Philippines. I had a woman approach me. She's 60 years old, and she's like, I think I want to make a video with me, but would you do like a Filipino dance with me? I'm like, yes. So she sent me a video. We practiced at home. We met for an hour, ran through a couple of times, and we made the video. So I have done songs and dances in multiple languages outside of even like the Indian and the Latin languages.
That's awesome. I love that. And I've been into theater for a long time, and I used to dance, and there's something about dancing that just like it releases this
Yes,
adrenaline and
exactly.
happiness, and
It's so decompressing.
it is. It's
Yes,
so good for you.
yes,
And my kids on the weekends, we do family Sunday dancing in the mornings. Like my husband makes pancakes and we dance in the kitchen. You just feel so much better after it. Um,
yes,
and I love that, all different cultures have all different styles of dance, and I love
yes,
being able to learn all of that. So I don't know,
yes.
maybe I'll take you up on your offer, and
I am looking
I'll
forward to it.
come dance
Yes,
with you.
yes,
Um, so now speaking to how good you feel from dancing, you are also someone who is a homeopath.
yes,
And that has been, I mean, you've been doing that since I think you said 1994. So
yes,
long time.
yes,
And I have to be honest with you, for my whole life, have been a math and science person. Like I was always, on the cutting edge of technology and science and
yes,
modern medicine and, all those things. I worked in a DNA lab in high school, and it was like, oh, this is going to change the world and how we do medicine. And, I was on that train. And then, 2021 happened. And I watched some Dope Sick, and I was like, okay, I need to maybe get in better touch with some natural things
yes,
too. Like I
yes,
owe it
yes,
to my body, I owe it to my kids' bodies to go down this path and learn more about natural things that help us before I immediately go to a modern medicine answer. And so, when I get strep throat, I'm like, do not pass go, do not collect $200, go get that Z pack and get rid of the strep throat. But, I think there's something to be said to do things for yourself before you get sick to help yourself. And so
Absolutely.
I want
Absolutely.
to ask you kind of about your profession, the things that you think people like me that are just kind of entering this space and understanding how to connect better with our bodies, connect better with nature to help our bodies, how explain that to me.
Sure. So, homeopathy is just one of the natural modalities that people can use because there are so many. I think the very first thing I always tell people is food. Food is medicine. That's like even before I start them on any remedies. I ask them to send me like a food diary. Like, what are you eating from morning to night? Sometimes just making changes in what you're eating and even how you're eating. I'll give you a very simple example. I had digestive issues for a very long time. And it was a simple change that I made. Here we tend to drink cold water with ice, or even if you like see people, they'll like have like a huge glass of soda with ice with their food. That's the worst thing you can do for your digestion because
Oh
you
boy.
are
Okay.
literally putting out your digestive fire, right? Your body wants to digest food, and then here you are putting like ice or cold drink with it. So just a simple change like that made such a huge difference to my digestion. So that's why that's like literally the first step to take. Like, what are you putting inside your body? Obviously, the second is your state of mind, right? What are you
Hmm.
doing that makes you happy? What is it that gives you joy? So people will be like, oh, I'm fine. I'm like, no, I want to know during your whole day, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, how much time have you set aside for yourself to do things that give you joy? It could be going for a walk, it could be dancing, it could be listening to music, it could be cooking, it could be having a chat with a friend, whatever it is. But how much time in a day are you scheduling for yourself? So those are like the first things. Then you come to like, what else can you do? So if you talk about homeopathy, I'm like you. I had no interest in studying homeopathy. I had no interest in natural medicine. I was one of those, okay, let's pop a pill, whatever. But when I went to school and I started practicing like regular medicine, it I was pretty disillusioned with it because all
Hmm.
we were doing was giving a pill for each symptom. So if you have three symptoms, you have a cold, you have a cough, maybe I'll give you a cough suppressant, I'll give you a decongestant, I'll give you an antihistamine, or combine all of them in one concoction, and it was just masking symptoms. So I got bored of that. I'm like, okay, let's go back to homeopathy, which is what I went to school for. And homeopathy looks at a person as a whole unit, not as your ear or your nose or your stomach. So it focuses on the whole person, totality of symptoms. And it also recognizes that symptoms are body's language of telling you what is not right. So if you pick remedies based on that symptom presentation, it seems to help the body self correct by giving it that gentle stimulus. And I'm not saying that there's no place for regular medicine. Absolutely. And like you said yourself, let's do the natural stuff first, recognize its limitations, and definitely go to an ER or have your regular, yearly checkups, diagnostics, so you know what's going on inside, but use the natural stuff first.
Hmm. And so when you are seeing patients, you are looking at them holistically. Are you also looking at any of their medical diagnosis from,
Absolutely. So
yes.
I cannot diagnose them, but everybody who comes to me has a regular MD. And so that they're doing their regular, yearly physicals, we're doing the diagnostics, we're doing the blood work. So we're doing all of that, but we are giving them the homeopathic remedies if they don't want to take. Or I have uh, a 70 to 80% of my practice is young families with kids. So I teach them. So I call myself more of an educator than a practitioner. So most of them will like have over the 2 or 3 months that they start out with me, we build like a small kit of remedies that they can use for colds, coughs, stomach aches, headaches, anything, even preventative stuff. So if they're going to be eating out, or if they're going to have ice cream once in a while, or they're going to whatever. So you have remedies that we can give them, which will keep them healthy. And or as soon as they have symptoms, so there are a lot of homeopathic remedies that you can use for at the onset of symptoms. So if you recognize, for example, they've been playing in the cold and they start with a runny nose, there's a remedy called aconite, which if it is given in those first 12 to 24 hours, it'll help your body to fight it off right away. And again, it's not the discharge or the running of the nose is not the problem, because the body is producing this mucus to trap anything and throw it out of the body. The same way, if you have a cough, cough is not the problem. The body is producing, making you cough, so you can throw out whatever has gone in, which the body thinks is not going to be good for it. So we're not suppressing the symptoms, we're recognizing the symptoms and giving remedies based on those symptoms so the body can self correct itself.
I love that because
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like all the time too when my kids are sitting at the kitchen table and I'm giving
yeah,
them dinner and I'm a cook, you know, I
yeah.
love to cook.
Yes,
It's a big part of my life. And
yeah,
my kids are always like, you know, can't I just have chicken fingers and french fries? And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I do you like being sick? No. Okay. The way you don't get sick is like you eat food, different food that's good for
yes,
you.
yes,
And
yes,
then, you know, that's and I knew that just kind of like being Italian and my, you know, my
yes,
family kind of always did that. But now when you think about it from what you're saying, like it really is this whole thing that then leads to, you know, better health,
yes,
better mental state. So I know
yes.
also a big part of homeopathy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like ways to improve depression and anxiety and things like that.
So there are remedies for everything. And I just want to go back to what you just said. I want you and every mom out there who's before a terrorist mom, I call myself a terrorist mom like me, who did not give up on their children. So my dad was like that. You know, he would cut fruit and make us eat it. He would make juices and we hated it. And he would take us to like these natural ashrams, you know, for like a week long retreat. And we'd be like, what is this food you're feeding us? You know, we want our fried food. And so he's like, no, you have to do this. And you know, we did that, paid forward with our children. And my kids are 25 and 18 now, and my son just came home for the first time in December after doing his first semester at Arizona State University. And he was like, he came and gave me a big hug, and for the first time he was appreciative of everything I've done. He was like, Mom, you don't even understand, everybody around me was sick. They was If they were sick, they were staying sick for at least a week, whereas I didn't get sick as much. And even if I got sick, I took the remedies from the college kit you gave me, and within a day or two I was fine. So everything that you're doing for your kids, they may fight you right now, they may hate you for it right now, but don't give up, keep doing it, because they will. Like, I appreciate my parents today, my son appreciates me, my daughter, she's 25, she cooks for herself, you know. Just, that's the important part of family, that involving them when you're doing the food prep, involving them, keep on giving them that information. Even when you're out like grocery shopping, show them why it's better to be in those like two ends of the
Yeah,
grocery store versus the middle
the
where
middle.
all the packaged stuff is. Like, keep like, show them that, and they will be grateful to you and they will be thankful to you one
It
day
is.
for
I
that.
know it's
Yeah.
so, you know, you don't appreciate how much your parents do until
Yes.
you get older.
Yes.
I mean, I remember the first time I had my son, I called my mom and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like thank you for
Yes.
everything." You know,
Yes.
you just
Exactly.
don't get it until
Yes.
and
Yes.
I'm sure I'm not going to get what my parents are doing for me now until I'm
Yeah.
their age. You know, you
Yes.
don't get it until you're a parent and until you go through those stages of
Exactly.
life. But
Yes. Yes.
yes, the tough love from your parents is actually
Exactly.
sometimes
Exactly.
the best love you
Yes.
can get. So no, I agree with you.
Yeah. So coming back
Sorry,
to
go
your
ahead.
question about homeopathy for other ailments. So you can use homeopathic remedies. So if you want, they're available over the counter. Easy breezy. So if you walk into Whole Foods, there's a whole section of homeopathic remedies, and they have a little free booklet which tells you indications. So if somebody's completely new to homeopathy, I would suggest joining the National Center for Homeopathy. This is the organization that is going to be completing 50 years in existence here in the US. So next year is like the um, big milestone for them. There's a lot of information on their website. They actually have this thing where they do, it's called For Mommies, Homeopathy for Mommies, and they have every month they have a webinar with a homeopath. So they tackle like day-to-day stuff, ailments, that remedies you can use for which you don't need a prescription for. So instead of using Tylenol or instead of using an antihistamine, you can reach for a homeopathic remedy instead. So that's what I would say over the counter to start with. Then there are some remedies that, again, over the counter, non prescription, that you can use for stress. Anticipatory anxiety. My husband loves this remedy because if we are traveling, or if we are having people over, he calls it my crazy lady mode, where I go like I'm traveling for the homeopathic conference in. We're leaving next Friday, and he knows this weekend is when my bag's gonna come out. So gelsemium is one remedy that is available over the counter, and it's amazing for like anticipatory anxiety. So
Mm,
if it's before an exam, or before travel, or you have people over, or you're going to have like a dental procedure or anything and you're very stressed about it, kids being stressed before exams. So gelsemium 30C is available over the counter, and it's one of the remedies that can be used without a prescription or without meeting a homeopath. But if you're going to talk about like long term, if somebody has anxiety or if they have depression or any kind of, then I would say talk to your naturopath. A lot of the naturopaths in our area incorporate homeopathy in their practice, so they'll be able to help you. Or you can find a homeopath from the National Center of Homeopathy's directory, which is online. So you can also, there are groups here, study groups. You can join a homeopathic study group. So that's why I said it's important for you to understand and learn everything about a new modality if you're going to make it a part of your well care routine.
right, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, in the same way that I
Yes.
was, studying everything else, I
Yeah.
gotta now learn and study and
Yes,
before you
exactly.
jump in, right? You get
Exactly.
that's do your
Yes.
research
Yes.
is yes, certainly. Okay, so I'm glad we discussed that because it's something that I'm very interested in kind of moving forward for my kids and my family and myself.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 7 and almost 5. So they're
Wow.
little, yeah.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
although my 7-year-old, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're becoming a boy. Stop growing.
Yeah, yes. Before you know it, they'll be gone. It
I
goes so
know.
quickly.
It's too fast already. I
Yeah.
know. But so I wanted to talk about Indian culture in general. If you're if homeopathy was kind of a result of Indian culture, or if that's just like something you were interested in, and then in general, kind of moving from India to America, how that's gone, how you and your husband, how you've liked it, how you've come into this culture versus your own culture. Do you go back? Just kind of stuff like that.
Sure. So homeopathy actually originated in Germany.
Okay.
It was founded by a German physician, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. We call him the father of homeopathy. And again, he also stumbled upon homeopathy because he was disillusioned with allopathy at that time. It was very brutal. 250, 300 years back, there was bloodletting. It was just barbaric. So he discovered homeopathy, and it grew in Germany. And then from Germany, it spread all over the world. And the reason why it's so prevalent in India is because, we're 1/6 of the world's population. So obviously, all of the good homeopaths are now Indian versus German, and he married a French woman. So that's why France and Germany and then India. These are like the three countries where homeopathy is most prevalent, but now it's all over the world. You'll find practitioners of homeopathy. So when we moved here for my husband's job, obviously, and we thought we would probably spend. My daughter was a year and a half at that time, so I was taking it easy anyway. So I was like, okay, we'll spend maybe 2 years and then come back. But then 9/11 happened, and then there were no jobs anywhere. So we ended up staying, and then we just kind of integrated ourselves here. So we have the best of both worlds. When the kids were younger, we took them to India every 2 years, at least once in 2 years. And then, as a matter of fact, before my daughter moved away to Texas, she went to India by herself because they speak the language. So she actually went to India by herself, went around, spent time with my mom, and she had an amazing time. So we've got the best of both worlds, let's put it that way. We are able to be here and still keep our Indianness. And
Mhm.
when you say, what is it, what does being Indian mean to you? I think it's like, we came from a country which has 20 plus states. So we were already used to the different
Yes, the
cultures.
right.
Like even
Everyone's
in
different.
India,
Yeah.
there are so many different languages, ways of life. And then we moved here, and then we met more amazing people. So we've just kind of incorporated what is our identity with the identity of what is America, which itself is like a huge melting pot. So we've
Exactly.
had the best of both worlds. And even even in the Indian community here, if you just look at Fairfield County, there are at least 12 Indian organizations. And then if you go up to the north of Connecticut, there's a total of more than 35 or 36 Indian organizations. And we go to every event that we can, especially when the
Mhm.
kids were younger, because each community, or whether it's from north, south, east, west, brings its own flavor, its own style of food, its own style of dance. So we love being a part of everybody, and it's just
Right.
an amazing
I
experience.
love that. And it's so welcoming too, because, when we were talking when we first met, you were like, I'll come over, I'll cook you some Indian food. I was like, I'll cook you some
And I
Italian
am
food.
still
Like,
serious about that. Yeah,
yeah. And
that offer is still open. Yes.
that's so, I
Yeah.
love it because that's how I feel. I'm like,
Yes.
come to my kitchen table. Let's have a
Yes.
meal. Let's,
Yes. Yes.
bond over whatever.
Yes.
And I love that. And so, no, I'm so glad that that's able to still be here for you guys. And do you celebrate traditional Indian holiday? Like, is Diwali
Yes.
one of your holidays that you
Yes.
celebrate?
Yes. So Diwali is the most famous holiday because, the White House does it every year. And, that's the one that's the most one. But what is happening today is Holi.
Holy.
So
Okay.
Holi is the festival of colors. It heralds the beginning of spring, and
Hmm.
it's a fun festival. Obviously, every festival, like you have Christmas, or you have whatever. All the festivals are basically a reason for people to come together, eat food, be together, right? That's like the underlying reason, or the
Hmm.
underlying thing for any celebration. But with Holi, the specific difference is the fun. You play with colors. So I
Okay.
have these colors to show you.
Oh, good.
So I picked up like 2 packs yesterday because I'm going to color my husband today. He's not escaping me. So, and you get it in all colors. You have blue, you have red, all. So you actually put colors on everybody. And then you can put water, you can put water balloons. It's like the most fun festival. So there's a celebration this weekend, Saturday. It's in Stamford. I'm inviting you to come. It's a
Okay.
fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for the Police Athletic League. So there's an Indian in the police, Stamford Police, who's organizing this for the first time. And we're going to have dance. Obviously, dance has to be a part of it. There's going to be Indian food to buy, and there's going to be colors. So come if you can. I'll send you more information.
Yeah,
And
I
if you
would love that.
Yeah.
Please do.
And if you can't come on Saturday, come on Sunday. Sunday, it's at the Wilton Temple here.
Okay. And
In
is Holy you said it's a spring like
Yes, it's the
celebration. Is it
festival of colors. Yes.
religious as well or
Yes, so
just
it has
okay.
a little, every celebration has some religious aspect to
Okay.
it, but it's the fun aspect that everybody can be a part of, right?
Right. Right.
So, and this they one of the things I love about Holi is because you can put color on anybody that day. So if there is somebody that you've had a conflict with, or somebody who's not talking to you, you are allowed to go
You
on
can paint
holiday.
them.
You can paint. This is the day where you forget all the past, anything, any issues you had with somebody. This is the day to go, and you can put. This is also the day where, if there's a girl that you've been wanting to talk to, and you are allowed to go put color on her. So
Oh
it's
my
so
goodness.
it's an amazing, amazing festival. So
That is so fun.
yes, so we've
I
been,
love that.
yeah,
Okay.
and throughout the month. So today is Holi,
Hmm.
but throughout this month, because it's cold, if you look online, and I can send you the information, they're going to be celebrating it literally every weekend. There's a Holi celebration in Fairfield County.
Oh
So on
wow.
the 25th of March, it's in Danbury. On the
Hmm.
5th of May, it's in Greenwich. There's a ICC, which is the um, Greenwich Indian organization. They're doing it. They did it last year. They're doing it again this year. So Holi is another festival that's, I think, going to become mainstream very soon.
That's
Yeah.
well, I look forward to it because I have some people I want to paint.
Yes.
So
Yes, bring them. It'll be a lot of fun. Yes, and it's for a good cause. Like this Saturday, it's for a good cause. We'll be supporting the PAL, which is the Police Athletic League of Stamford.
nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, all right, great.
yeah,
Well, that's so good
yeah,
to know. Thank you.
yeah.
And will you also be partaking in the Nice Festival this summer?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
we have been participating in it for the past since it's been around, and absolutely, we'll be there this year doing our Indian dances. So please come and join us. Nice is amazing.
It
Yes.
is. It's we went last year and
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
loved it. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll certainly go again this year. And
Yes.
I was hoping maybe I'll bring Janet on this podcast too as we get
Yes,
closer to kind
yes.
of
Oh my God, she's so
plug
good.
it.
Everything
She
that she's
is.
doing, yeah.
Yeah,
And
she's
I have
wonderful.
learned so much from going to Nice. Like all the different dances, they were beautiful. Like we had dances from Mexico, we had dances from China. It was just a beautiful, and to have everybody in that one place. The
Yes.
day went so quickly, we didn't even realize. And the food is amazing as well.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yes.
Yeah, no, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so the last question I want to ask you in kind of thinking about community and how our kids interact together is, I know I saw that you married back in India and you were in an arranged marriage. And it
Yes.
seems
Yes.
you're very, very happy with that. I
Yes.
mean, you seem so in love and so happy
Yeah.
with your family and
Yeah.
kids and all that. And then I think about what we're doing over here with swiping left and swiping right on apps. And that's, the complete opposite.
Yes.
And I did not meet my husband that way. We met at work. And I feel like now I'm old school in the way that I and I met my husband. But I just kind of want your thoughts, on
Yeah.
that and
Yeah.
how you deal with that with your kids, moving forward. And I don't know. I just thought it'd be an interesting
Yes,
thing to
yes,
kind of chat
yes.
about.
So, when I was such a tomboy growing up. I never even thought of marriage or anything. I was focused on my career. I was focused on, and the typical arranged marriage that people have the vision of is, the boy comes to your house to see you. You bring out like a tray of, tea in it and stuff. And I had told my mom, you've sent me to medical school. Don't expect that out of me. This not going to happen. So, fortunately, and what is arranged marriage? First of all, quickly, I think it works because when your parents find somebody for you or a common friends bring forth a proposal, the good thing is that there's already a lot of commonality, right? You're from the
Hmm.
same background, probably from the same community, language, food habits, same financial status as well. So now you only have the things to fight about is narrowed down to the 15-20%. Like you didn't put the cup here, or you didn't, just like stuff that you're going to fight about. But like
Right.
you're not going to be fighting about the big things because those things have already been, the backgrounds are similar.
Hmm.
So when we got a chance to meet each other, and then we obviously had the, if we wanted to say no, that's okay. So it's not like you
Okay.
meet and you have to marry that person. So Mahesh had actually seen three other girls before he met me, but he was the second boy I saw.
Okay.
And the first proposal that had come, that person was not here. So I never met him. I just met the parents. So I never, but then Mahesh came and it worked out, and it was like it went quickly like that.
Yeah.
And it was a big 4 5 day celebration. And I think the first year was very difficult because that's where all the dating, you're trying to get to know each other. But
Right.
then you see, like, he's not very, what should I say, he doesn't use words as much, but he shows he loves me. You've seen, he literally partakes in all my reels. He's, he
Yeah.
goes along with everything. So I think women especially have to look beyond, because the guys who are the sweet talkers, actually
Hmm.
steer clear from them.
Yes.
It's, it's the men who are the more caring. They show you by their actions, and that's how it is with us. So it took me some time for me to adjust to that, and it took him some time to adjust to my
Right. You guys
crazy
sound
personality.
very similar to myself and my husband. My husband calls me 0 to 10 and he's 4 5 6. Like
Exactly.
I'm all over the place at all
Yes.
times. And he's
Yes.
just like he's like, okay, bring it down.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And I think that's what balances it out. So
Hmm.
and like with my daughter now, she's 25, she's at that age where, she should be thinking about it at least, if not, because I was married at 26, which is late considering, Indians would like their daughters to get married at 18, 19, but I was in school, so it wasn't happening. So, I always say to her that, just keep your energy open.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an open energy, you will meet someone like I
Mm-hmm.
met your dad. Because
Right.
all along I was like, I don't want to get married. I don't know. It's not for me. I don't think I can find someone. But just keep your energy open and be open to suggestions. Like if your parents suggest somebody or an uncle or an aunt
Right.
suggest someone, there's no harm in meeting that person. You never know.
Right. I love that. That's so nice. And then, so then wedding in India was 5 days, you said? 4 or 5?
Yeah, yeah. And we had at the reception, so at a lot of the ceremonies we had between, like it was his family, my family. So at the different events, maybe we had between 40 to 100 people, but at the reception, we had 1,300 people.
1,300, like
Yes.
1,300 people.
Yes, yes.
Oh
Because you invite everybody.
my.
In India, you just call like everybody you know. So, we lived like, how you have a condo complex here. So we lived in like something like that. It was a condo complex with about 100 houses. So you know everybody because you live together in the community. So everybody is invited. And our wedding cards are not like, how it is here. You either send it to just one person or you specify one plus one, no kids. No, friends and family. That's how Indian invitations usually are. I mean, here it has changed a little bit now because of the space constraint. But in India, you have this huge venues, right? So it's friends and family. Nobody even counts. You can bring your neighbor, you can bring your cousin, you can bring
And then do
whoever you want.
who provides the food? Like, is it everyone
We
brings
do.
food or just the
No, no, no,
family
no, no.
for
The
1,300
the
people?
families. Yep, yep, yep,
Holy
yep, yep.
moly. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's not that expensive. Remember, it's not that expensive as it is here. And then you don't spend money on like the decorations. Spend it
Right.
on the
Yeah.
food. You
Yeah. Although the outfits, I have to
spend
say,
it.
I have some
Yes,
friends who have been
yeah,
are Indian. They've been going to weddings. I'm like, oh, wow, the
yes,
beautiful dress that goes on at those weddings are, I mean,
yes.
really beautiful.
Yeah. So if
Really.
you make a video with me, you'll get to wear a beautiful Indian
Oh,
outfit.
there we go.
So
Okay. Even more. I mean, you keep tempting me with all these
yes,
good
yes,
reasons.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, so the question I ask everyone on this podcast at the end is, what is your favorite family tradition and why?
So right now, the my favorite family tradition is making reels with the kids. They don't like it, but each time, because I lost my mom 2 years, it's 2 years back in December, two and a quarter now. And it was a very difficult time for me because when you lose one parent, it's sad. And I'd lost my dad 12 years back, but when you lose your second parent, it's like you become an orphan. So December I lost her, and like right up till March or April was so difficult for me. I used to go to Zumba every day. That was my only like thing, but I was just not myself. And then it was our 25th anniversary that April. And my daughter came down from Texas and she was like, I'm done with your moping. We can't do this anymore.
Aw.
You've got to stop. So she made a TikTok. And the TikTok was the four of us did that TikTok, and the TikTok was "Abhi to party shuru hui hai," which means the party is just getting started. She was like, "Nani would have wanted you to celebrate. 25 is
Aw.
a big number. We got to do this." And doing that 1 hour, it took us 1 hour to make that 45-second TikTok. And I had so much fun. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And since then, every time they come home, we make a reel. Or if we have other family in California, so when we all went there, we made a reel again. And now the kids are like, oh my God, we have created a monster. We've got to make her stop. But I have to tell you, my biggest fans are actually my daughter's school kids because she's teaching sixth and seventh graders. So and she sends all these laugh emojis, and I'm like, we're happy to provide you the comic relief to decompress during the day. Yes. So we love to make reels. We love to get together. My husband is big on nature, so whenever we meet, we go out on hikes together, and I'll be carrying my bag of food, giving out food to all of them. And we just love to do things together, whatever it is they want to do. Sometimes it's not something I want to do, but they make the reels with me, so I'll go on a
Right.
hike with them. That's fine.
Right, right. Oh,
Yes. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, and I love that it's a new, like that you can create new traditions as they get older
exactly.
too. You don't
Yeah.
always have to just stick to the ones you started when they were 4. Like
Yes.
there's new stuff
Yes.
around the corner every day or every year. So
Yes.
that's so nice.
Yes.
Well, Yashi, thank you so much for joining me. This was so fun. And I think I am going to check out that paint, the
The Holy
festival
Festival.
of
Yes,
the
please
Holy
come.
Festival.
I'll
Yes.
send you the information. I'd love for you to come, and if you can post it and more people can join, because let's make this is the first time they're doing it. And we should support them. It's a great cause and it'll be a lot of fun. And then it could become an yearly thing.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes, please send me and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you, Yashi.
Bye.
Bye.